Hey fellow divers, Brad here from Deco Diving South Africa. Today we're going to take a deep dive into single cylinder and twin set wings. So when we're looking at a Deco wing, there are a few things that I need you to understand. Firstly, the way in which we build our wings is very important. That being, it is a double wing construction, which means there are two compartments to this air cell. We have an external outer layer, which is made out of a very durable Cordura nylon, 1680 denier Cordura if you must know. And then inside that, there is the inflatable air cell, which rather than making it from plastic or plastic type material, is made just from a slightly thinner nylon that has been sealed such that it can retain and hold air. So a double bladder system is important because it removes risk, less risk than if it's just a single layer wing, which you often find out there in the market. Now, in terms of the materials, as I've explained, the choice of such durable fabric is important because we cater from sport divers all the way through to technical divers who are using it for extreme diving. We needed something very, very robust, and that's exactly what this material is. So in terms of features, the single cylinder wings and the twin set wings are very, very similar in principle, but there are some very important defining differences, which I'll go into as I go along. This is a single cylinder wing. In fact, this is a 25-pound lift wing, or about 11 kilos, which is perfect for most sport diving. Looking at the wing itself, this is of course fully inflated. What do we see? Well, we have an inflator. This is the very well-known and durable K inflator attached to an oval corrugated hose. This comes standard as a 16-inch length. We do have the options for you if you want to make them shorter. We can put a 12 and even a 14-inch corrugated hose on here. This corrugated hose runs, of course, into the wing on the left-hand side of the diver. And that reason is very simple. Single cylinder wings have the cylinder pillar valve directly in the middle of the diver. By moving this off to the left, it clears the valves, makes it easier for you to reach valves if you need to, but certainly makes this a lot less cluttered. The corrugated hose is held in place by this retaining loop to try and limit this corrugated hose from flying all over the place if it hasn't been put into position properly. So within the front of the wing, you can attach it to your harness one of two ways. You'll see that there are two stainless steel grommets. Now, we can attach this onto a single tank adapter, which is essentially a metal plate that then goes onto the cylinder. It gets bolted onto the wing to make it really, really rigid and avoids any movement between the two. If you choose not to use an STA, we've built in these cam band slots through which you can fit the cylinder band and attach this and your harness directly to the cylinder. It's personal preference, really. The benefit of the STA is that there's generally less movement between the two whilst diving or even kitting up. Further, on the BC, we have an overpressure relief valve or dump valve on the left side of the diver. This, of course, stops, well, overpressuring the bladder, but also a very convenient way to dump air when you're in the diving trim position. The other deflation system is, of course, on the K inflator itself. At the bottom of the wing, we have two stainless steel eyelets, and the purpose of this is to help drain water. Of course, given that there are two bladders, water gets in between the two, and when you get out the water can just drain out and not leave this water logged. On the back of the wing, if you're going to use cam bands directly through the wing and onto your harness without a single tank adapter, we have given you the option of the soft STA. You'll notice it's hard ribs on the side, and when you lay the cylinder between the two, it helps to some extent to limit cylinder rocking from side to side. This can be taken out if you're going to be putting on an STA. So those are some of the key features of the Deco wing. There are a lot more that I'll explain as we go through it, and when we delve inside the wing, you'll get to see what those are. Okay, so what's inside the wing? Well, you'll notice as it is now inflated, it looks, well, like any other wing out there on the market. But let's deflate and have a look what's inside. The first thing you'll notice is that the minute I deflate the wing, it curls up almost into a very compact shape. And the reason for this is we clearly want to limit drag. Whilst down and diving, invariably the beastie has very little air in at all. So instead of having this outer wing flapping around or curving up around your cylinder, we've built in an internal retraction band system so that when you do deflate, this wing curls up next to you or next to your cylinder, between the cylinder and the diver, and that just makes the whole system far more streamlined. A very simple idea, but it just keeps things neat, limits the risk of entanglement or catching anything or damaging reef as a perfect example. So let's have a look inside. Well, firstly, I mentioned that we have this very robust 1680 denier Cordura outer, but on the inside, there is that second layer I was talking about. 420 denier nylon, which itself is actually pretty robust. It is ultrasonically welded. The edges of the air cell are literally welded and molded together, so there's virtually no risk of it splitting or breaking. In fact, we're so confident on that ultrasonic weld that these beasties come with a lifetime guarantee on that seam, which is really important. If I go in a little further, I'll just lift out and show you that internal bungee system, which maybe you can see on the camera, but that is what runs on the inner outside of the wing to pull it into place. If you choose not to want it, if you feel that that's not necessary, very quickly release it and you can remove it from the entire system. All right, so sizes. Single cylinder wings come in two lift capacities. On the left, we have the 25-pound lift, or about 11 kilos. This side, we have the 38-pound or 17 kilo lift. Same features, same materials, same quality workmanship, just with a different function. So what are they? How do you choose? Well, simply put, when you dive, you need to look at things like thermal protection. If you're using really thick wetsuits, you need to understand that as you dive deeper, the neoprene compresses and you lose some buoyancy, which means at depth you may need a little bit more lift than on the surface. If using very thin one-piece 5mm suits, for example, that's less of an issue. Are you carrying side slung cylinders? Are you using bailouts? Are you carrying heavy extra camera equipment? Everything that could make you slightly heavier at depth has to be considered. But the truth be told, single cylinder diving with a large steel cylinder is perfectly doable with a 25-pounder. I myself like to use a 25-pounder when I travel, when I'm diving locally and I'm carrying extra stage cylinders, but only on a single back mount cylinder, I use a 38. So it really does boil down to your personal preferences and the types of lift capacities you're going to need. It's not cast in stone. What about our technical divers? Well, we're very proud of our twin set wings and systems. In fact, the very origins of Deco diving many years ago was in technical diving. Our very first version of the twin set wing was used in a world record attempt in the Red Sea, where our wings went down to extreme depths and back with great success. So this is kind of how we've evolved our twin set diving wing for the modern diver. So as you can see, it's big. This is a 45-pound lift bladder and has been cut very specifically to accommodate two large cylinders and have limited excess material to tacho around the cell. You'll notice that the inflator has a slightly different position to that on the single cylinders. With a twin cylinder configuration, your two valves are on the sides of the diver. So therefore we've mounted the elbow inflator exactly in the middle so that the diver can reach their valves. Small differences make a big difference whilst diving. The same retainer loop to avoid the hose from moving all around the place whilst underwater. And then ultimately, the difference here is not only the lift capacity, which I think you can see is rather obvious. The finishes are the same, the quality materials are the same. The difference here is we do not insert a retraction bungee system to this wing structure. We keep it like this because the twin cylinders allowing that extra wing volume to twist around and tacho. Our overpressure relief valve has also been moved relative to a single cylinder system. This overpressure relief valve is moved slightly further out to the side, whereby the diver can reach it easier with two large cylinders sitting in place. We keep the self-drain grommets at the base of the wing to help with easy drainage of water. And of course, on the back, no cam slots because this wing is not intended for a single cylinder. Please don't try. It is absolutely going to wrap around your cylinder and be a nightmare to keep control. This is for twin sets or rebreather systems only. One of the most important elements of manufacturing diving equipment for us here in South Africa is that we have to be able to back these products up. We need to service the systems. We need to be able to support the divers who have our equipment, and this is something we take very, very seriously. When we talk about spares, components, if you're an owner of a Deco system and for some reason something should break, you drop a cylinder and you crack the overpressure relief valve, or a big shark bites your corrugated inflator hose, the good news is that because we are the manufacturer, every single component on this BCD can be replaced. We have everything in stock, we have everything available to service your backup needs ASAP. In fact, we even have an option whereby after years of diving your Deco wing, let's say you feel that the sun has kind of bleached the black coloring of the outer wing, or you feel it's looking a little bit tatty. Do you need to buy an entire new system? Not at all. Speak to one of your Deco dealers, they'll contact us and we'll give you just a replacement outer wing, which you can buy at a fraction of the cost of an entire new system. If you decide you want to customize and you want longer hoses, shorter hoses, new hoses, we have absolutely everything available. So spares, backup are solid. We are supporting our customers till the end. Now, beyond just spares and backup, what about warranties? How does that work? Well, firstly, as I've already mentioned earlier in the video, the internal bladder, which is sealed with ultrasonic welding, has a lifetime guarantee. That wing internal will not burst. If for whatever reason it should, leak, we'll replace it, no questions asked, no charge involved. It's something we take very seriously. What about the rest of the wing? Well, we have probably one of the best warranty systems in the industry. We offer a 5-year warranty on any of the components on our systems against manufacturing defect. If you stick a knife through the BC, that's hardly a manufacturing defect, but anything else that should it break or fail or wear quicker than what it should, we will replace it within that 5-year period. This doesn't extend to the first owner. Whoever owns a BC system from Deco who can show that it's less than 5 years old will get that same excellent customer backup. So there you have it, a comprehensive overview of the Deco buoyancy systems. From single cylinder sport diving to twin set technical diving, we've looked at features, benefits, materials, we've looked at spares, backup and warranty. Tried and trusted by leading industry professionals, Deco diving equipment really commits to giving you the best possible diving experience. And until next time, dive safe, be safe and take care.